Hello and welcome back to the Beefy Tech channel. Today we'll be taking a look at Call of Snoop Dogg Nicki Minaj 2. Call of Duty Warzone 2 Season 5. I'm excited to say that I've heard good things even though I have not tested the game yet. Apparently the performance is either the same or a bit higher, so let's go and check it out. Just a fair note, I'm on a 7950X3D, 7900 XTX, DDR5 6200 MHz with custom tuned timings, mind you it's M.2 memory kit, and I'm running all low settings with a custom config file which you can find in the video description down below. I'm just going to scroll past these really quick just so you guys can get a good understanding of roughly what we're working with, and all of this is happening at 1440p. Mind you, I'll start with the benchmarking game and then we'll go into some actual games and see if anything's different, changed better or worse. Now don't worry guys, we've got Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj to make us enjoy the season more if the performance actually turns out to be worse. But we'll see. As we run through this benchmark, I quickly wanted to talk to you guys. So Beefy Tech optimizing is gonna be back up in a couple of days. Exactly which day? Can't really guarantee. But I've basically taken care of absolutely everything, and the only thing that remains between me and beginning my business again is me being a bit lazy and being a bit busy at the moment. I've got a list of people that want some optimization, so I'll start with them, and once I'm done with them, I'll announce the website as being back up. Anyway, let's take a look at how the performance is holding up as of Season 5. Now, I do expect this to be mildly better or the same. I have hopes. Only one can dream. Let's see. And we've got worse. Not significantly though, but worse nonetheless. I'll try to do some re-optimizing and see if I can get it back up, so I'll be right back in a second and we'll see if I can indeed fix it or if it's just outright slightly worse. So I think I found why my performance was lower. That's my fault, guys, because for some reason, my GPU performance was lower, and that reason would be because everything is back to default stock. Yeah, I didn't see that, so my bad. Let me fix this, and I'll run it again, and then we'll see the real performance. Well. Definitely better results now. In fact, on par to what they used to be as my previous best for 1440p. What's a bit weird though is that my CPU is performing worse now. And just on the averages, not even on the lows are pretty much the same. I mean, let's quickly go over my previous benchmark result. And let's compare. So that was a 402 in the achieved. But as you can see here, I got a 402 in the achieved before. My GPU results here were worse, but they were better in the new benchmark. But my CPU is like 12 FPS worse than it was literally just yesterday. Difference that's gonna make in game? Basically nothing, but it's worth noting at least. So I got basically the exact same results, but with slightly worse CPU average for some reason. And it does get better by the looks of it because I ran it a second time after clearing my RAM with ISLC, and I hit a 407 achieved results, with the CPU and GPU both being ever so mildly higher in both 1% lows and average FPS. But this is indeed my best ever result. So they did theoretically improve the benchmark result, but the CPU FPS got hit by a tiny bit, at least for me, in the averages. Alright, so the good news is that the FPS is still pretty much the same. This is honestly within margin of error for Al Mazrah, but the bad news is that the FPS is still pretty much the same. And I know I just said the same thing twice, but hear me out. Now there's only 96 players per game, and yet it's still the same FPS, or in some cases worse. Alright, I just finished a 4-hour-long playing session where I recorded some footage and got a bit of experience with Season 5, and I'm a bit disappointed to say that the performance did actually end up letting me down. Not that it's on average worse in any way, shape, or form, it's just that there's stutters in hitching, and I do believe it to be from actual packet loss rather than my PC. Both my girlfriend and I had the same exact issue, and in fact, the friend we were also playing with had it even worse than us, to where he was lagging beyond belief, and he's on an Intel system, I'm on a Ryzen 7950X3D, and my girlfriend's on a 5800X3D. I've got a config file, they don't have a config file, and yet as you can see over here on the top right hand side, I was getting very noticeable hitches in gameplay. Now, you might be thinking, okay, what if it's your computer? Don't worry, I tested everything top to bottom. I reset my BIOS, I redid everything from scratch including the config file, and yet it was still happening. The story was the same within Vondel, albeit in this specific instance the hitching wasn't as noticeably bad on the frame timeline, but I would actually argue that the hitching was significantly more consistently bad within Vondel than it was on Ashika. Now yes, you take it as you will, Vondel is theoretically a worse performing map than Ashika, whichever way you look at it, but yeah, it felt pretty shitty to play on Vondel, even at the high-ass frames that you're seeing over here, and that's most likely because the 1% lows are terrible due to the constant hitching. And yes, it was happening to my girlfriend and my friend also, all on separate systems. This shows that it's the update that brought in the issues and nothing else. I overall really did enjoy the update and the time that I played on the update because they made some fairly solid changes, minus the movement changes and the whole hitching thing. The movement changes don't actually feel like they buffed movement at all, it feels quite the opposite, like they nerfed movement, and I don't know if that's true, but it genuinely did not feel like they did anything at all in terms of helping the movement. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me most is that the hitching was introduced and it's consistently hitching in both Ashika and Vondel. So yes, if you guys are feeling like any stutters or lag are happening, it's because they updated the game and they broke something. The averages are not seemingly being affected in terms of performance, but the 1% lows are suffering dearly due to the hitching and stuttering. Is it packet loss, or is it just because of PC performance issues? I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest with you. The packet loss never came up, and yet there was still stuttering and hitching every now and then on both maps. Take it as you may, I have no idea what's causing it, but they did break the game to some extent in Season 5. That said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll enjoy Season 5. Hopefully they fix the hitching issues fairly soon, and we don't have to deal with it for an extended period of time. With that said, have a good one, and peace.